The Mantis men have officially taken over the building. If you can get out now. Oh God, they're breaking through the barricades!
I'm sure he's fine. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Perpetual Testing Initiative. Today, we're looking at Ups and Downs by a person whose name I honestly cannot remember, which is unfortunate. And right off the bat, I'm going to say this is going to be a chamber I'm going to have a little bit of trouble with. Flat out, just there it is, it's on the table. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have trouble here, but that's perfectly alright. Our obvious goal is going to be to go ahead and get a cube for this button here. And then, what is this? And perhaps to find multiple cubes for whatever's going on here. First things first though, I can go ahead and put a portal on that surface and promptly not be able to get through it because, well, obviously, not really able to do too much there. Alright, I'm through and now I'm trapped below the area. That's perfectly fine. And I can see why it's called Ups and Downs. We are going to be traversing this area quite a bit, aren't we? Alright, so, let's go ahead and hop down here. There we go. Alright, well, obviously we can just get across this without an issue. But the issue then is how to get up. Though I don't really think that's as significant an issue as I might want to make it out to be. In fact, no, it is a fairly significant issue indeed. Alright, so how do I get across this area? Looks like if I put something on the button, I'll be able to deactivate this emancipation grid. And when I say the button, I of course mean the button from earlier. But that's going to be fairly difficult given the fact that the only thing that I can currently put on the button is me. If I'm somehow able to get up here, I should be able to get the cube, and then pressing that button... I'm not actually sure what pressing that button would do. Fair enough. So, think PA, what tools do you have available to you? Well, right now I have an excursion funnel available for my use, and a cube that I cannot yet access. A button that flips this panel briefly to, it appears, just allow me to get down there. So let's go ahead and take that path. And then if I use the excursion funnel here, I mean, what can I do with it? Obviously I can press myself into the ground here, but there's not really much I can do. Besides that, I can fire myself up into the ceiling, but there's nothing there for me to find either. I would be perfectly able to fall, but there's really no point to that. I could fling myself up into the air and keep my momentum going, but that wouldn't really accomplish much. I'd just keep staring at the area over there, and I'd keep wistfully looking at the button and all that jazz. I'm trying to think though, what would happen if I flew through the emancipation grill while I was doing this, like I used my admittedly impossible aerial momentum to get across, and then I created portals underneath me to keep that momentum going. It's a very long shot, but I think it might work, so let me get aimed in the right direction. Oh, not quite, but I think that could work. I really do. So, let's go ahead and get back up here, because obviously getting back up as is just going to be a bit of a pain each time, but you know what, we can deal with a bit of a pain to get through this test chamber. Still, just a quick note, kudos to the map developer on an actual challenge for once. Definitely a bit of a relief from yesterday, which was, I don't know, fairly challenging I suppose, with some of the puzzles there, but just overall didn't really do it for me. Orange, blue, oh, nope, screwed it up. Alright, so maybe that's not as possible as I would like to think it is, but then what else can I do? Hold up a second, did that just switch that from... That causes the excursion funnel to pull. Oh, that is special and something I didn't see before. Still, that's not much that I can do with it, besides... If I could figure out some way to have the excursion funnel pulling at the cube. Oh, damn it. I missed my opportunity there. Let's fire the portal back. There we go. If I could figure out some way to have the excursion funnel firing at the cube, then that might be able to work. But there's obviously no portable surface here to make that a possibility. So perhaps it's not that which is supposed to be pulled, but what else can it pull? I'm really the only thing that the excursion funnel can act upon at this point, which is a bit of an issue. And obviously I do have the glass on the other side, but that's just to serve to let me know that the cube is there. That's not really supposed to be anything else. So if I just take into account what I have, it's going to be the biggest thing. I don't believe I have view of any portable surface from here but this wall, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't believe I am. So that wall is going to remain functionally worthless for the time being. In fact, I think that the excursion funnel and turning it around are actually for getting the cube across once I've sort of gotten it off the wall there, if that makes any sense. Like, I will, once I've gotten the cube down, I'll then just use the excursion funnel and the deactivation of the emancipation grid to pull it across and get it back to the excursion funnel here where I can put it on the button and get out. But before then is the issue. So, how to get myself across is the problem. Or how to simply get that cube down, if nothing else, because I really don't think I've missed anything in regards to portals here, which is alright, just doesn't really provide me with anything to work with. So, let me... Oh my goodness, yes. Oh my god, that took entirely too long to figure out. Holy shit, I finally made it though. Oh, thank you. Okay, now from here I think it's smooth sailing. Turns out I had the right idea all along. It was just, you know, difficult. Yeah, about that. Alright, so now that I've gotten the cube from that area onto this one, I should just be able to... Which portal did I place there? Orange? If I place a blue portal there, I should see that the cube is secured against the wall, which I do. And now if I step on this button and wait for maybe 5 seconds, I should see the cube come through here to this. Excellent, just what I wanted. No, don't go back. How do I get it out now? Oh, easy. Bring the cube to me. Bring me the cube. There we go. Door out. Test finished. Oh my god, that took entirely too long. Still, actually challenging. Fairly well thought out. SevenSilhouette, you did an excellent job with this test chamber. If anything, I don't know. It's just, it seemed like the solution to the puzzle, I could sort of see it, but it was almost like I didn't think that it was the only option. The existence of the excursion fall, I was able to figure out that it was used for the second part. But really the thing about these sorts of test chambers is that while I like them when I can succeed, it took me maybe a dozen or so tries to actually get through there, and I had to remember that sideways momentum for some reason seems to be better than forward and backward momentum when you're in the air. That said, everything was fairly well done and well thought out, and it worked out alright. It was just a bit frustrating when I couldn't get through that first area, but entirely satisfying when I was finally able to. And you know what? Let's do one more test chamber today. I'll see you guys in just a second.
Cave Johnson here. I see you. I see your little feet. I'm gonna cut off your hair and put it on your feet and eat your little hair. What? Oh, and feet.
Oh, dear sweet Jesus. What are these lines? Oh, these Cave Johnson lines. What is this? What is it? Oh my god, I'm trying to imagine the guy who does Cave Johnson's voice saying that. I'm trying to imagine him in the recording booth just doing that. And oh my goodness. Anyway, we're doing Looming, another map by Paradox QT13, or what his name was, from yesterday's test. And so far as I can tell, this button seems functionally worthless thus far. But let me test. If I remove it from here, does that other panel stay open? It does. So what is the point of this button then? I can't see the one thus far. So let's just wander through here, and what does this one do? Destroys the cube, naturally. Oh, I'll bet that all it's supposed to be is I'm supposed to be able to get over here without... Okay, so this is actually fairly simple, I think. No, it's not. Damn. Alright, so let me just see. If I put the button on here, does it open the door? I'm assuming that it does. No. The hell is the point of the button? I mean, that's not a rhetorical question. That's just what is the point of that button? Do both of the buttons have to be pressed down for the door to be open? Is that what needs to happen? Also, why does a button destroy a cube? I don't get it. Okay, this is one thing that we need to kinda we need to go over this. In a test chamber, one of the best things that you can have is a straightforward design. I can tell you right now, I have no idea what these buttons do because there is no dotted line along the ground leading from them to whatever they activate, as there are in many, many test chambers, and with good reason. Those test chambers are as successful as they are simply because the map creators knew that it is extremely frustrating to not know what your tools can do. In this case, this means that one of the biggest problems on this map, I suppose you could say, is the fact that... what am I trying to say? Is the fact that I have no idea what I'm doing, I guess, would be the easiest way to put it. I mean, I can put this on here, where it proceeds to deactivate that cube every single time it's... What the hell? Alright, sure, let's go with that. And what happens if I activate both of these at the same time? Does that open the door? Okay, so if both buttons are activated, the door opens, but if this button is activated second, then that thing opens up. That is actually fairly perplexing. Let's go ahead and take stock of what we know. Pressing that button causes this cube to dissipate. This cube needs to be on this button for me to be able to get through, unless there's some other sort of means of getting across, though I don't think there is, because you can't just toss them into water. They just disappear. The cube will respawn on this side, and presumably this one will respawn on that side, if for any reason I'm unable to get to it or something like that. For proof of point, bam, new cube. Of course, the cube doesn't fall on the switch, which is rather an issue. And I can't actually... Okay, so I stepped on the switch twice, which is why the cube destroyed itself twice. But as long as this switch stays weighed down, the cube won't destroy itself. Which means that I can keep this down without destroying the cube if I put the other cube on here, but then I would need to get this cube that I currently have onto the switch over there, which would close that panel and leave me unable to portal. So I'd need to somehow get a switch onto that panel while I'm on this side. Or I need to find another way across. But I don't believe there is one, which is kind of the biggest issue. Let's see here. I mean, that is all this does, right? There's no greater mystery to this. That's all that button does, is the two things. Closes that panel and opens the door if both buttons are pressed. Fair enough. Then we just have this giant wall in the middle here, presumably the looming structure named. And a portal gun that's pretty much functionally worthless for this test chamber. Seems to be a bit of a theme with Paradox. Doesn't want you going anywhere that he doesn't want you to. Alright, so... Take stock, PA. What do you have? This wall does nothing for me. This wall is just to make sure I don't pass through. That I can establish fairly easily. Because I can go through the one side, but that would destroy my portals. And the boxes could go through the other side, but going through this side would destroy them. As going through this side would destroy me. I can activate a portal from this side, but then I can't do anything with it since there's no portable surface on either side of this test chamber, which is really the biggest issue there. Now, if I remove this from the button for now, because I have a feeling that this one, this particular cube is actually what I'm going to need to keep on the button over there, since obviously the other cube can't really stay on there for the point of dissipating whenever it is destroyed. So, how would I get across then is the biggest problem. Let's see. I mean, the water is infinitely deep, because when I toss this in there, it immediately destroyed itself. If I place a cube on here, it does me no good whatsoever, other than just putting a cube in a place where I can sort of reach. So, if I just take this to the other side, just I mean, I'm not supposed to do anything stupid like toss it onto the button, am I? Because, I mean, that'd be bad design. Flat out. I mean, that is not an obvious solution. Oh, I was so close, too. Well, let's see if I can do that really quickly. It may be bad design, but it's bad design that's possible, so we'll give it a shot. Alright. Line myself up, and... toss. Damn. Completely missed, just whiffed. Alrighty then, toss. My tossing needs work, it seems. Yeah, I have a feeling this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. Alright, I'll cut to when I figured something out. Be right back, guys. That's it. I'm pretty sure I'm in hell. I'm pretty sure this is actually hell. I did something terrible in life to deserve this, and now I'm stuck here tossing this fucking cube at this fucking button until the end of time in a terrible Sisyphean odyssey. Sisyphean? I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced. That ultimately ends with that button eventually landing on that button perfectly, or that cube eventually landing on that button perfectly, and just sitting there until I near the door, at which point it'll pop off of its own accord, and I'll be left trying to do this shit again. I cannot describe how frustrating this is. I've been tossing this cube for literally half an hour. If this is the intended solution, then this is bullshit. If this isn't the intended solution, then the intended solution is so fucking obtuse that I've been reduced to tossing a cube at a button for a half hour. Either way you look at it, this test is not well designed. The point at which your map ceases to be a test and starts to become an exercise in frustration is the point at which you need to start looking at your map. Because, guess what? The workshop description for this map was a little something to keep you thinking. It's not keeping me thinking, it's keeping me frustrated and guessing, and that's it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's finally happened. I've finally found a map that I cannot beat. I've been trying to throw this cube on here for well over a half hour now. Going on an hour. And I just cannot land it. I brought the other cube through and tossed it onto this as well, thinking that maybe I had to do something funny with the cube falling, hitting this cube, and then rolling onto this button, but the raised platform makes that pretty much impossible. So let me just outline my final thoughts on how to approach this chamber. We've got a cube here. We've got a cube over there. The button over there destroys that cube, and this button destroys my only path over. If, by some freak accident, or perhaps by design, this cube ends up on this side, it can remain on this button indefinitely, as the placement on this button will not preclude it from being used, as it will not be destroyed. If I swap these cubes really quick, Indiana Jones style, I can actually keep this cube on this button, the button that would destroy the cube in the first place, without any troubles. But now I have this cube, and this cube needs to go on the button over there, and I can't get through there. Or I can, but when I bring this cube through here, I have to try to toss it on that button, is what I think I'm supposed to do, what I think the map creator intended, which is dumb, and at this point I'm thinking just about impossible for anyone who's not exceptionally skilled with cube throwing. Or there's some aspect of this test chamber that is not being shown to me. Or that is being shown to me and I've been unable to see all along. Because right now I don't see anything that would help me get through. Both of these buttons need to be pressed for the door to be open, but why couldn't there be indicators that that is the case? That flips that panel, but why couldn't there be a dotted line to show that? This causes that to go, but that too could have been shown. All of this could have been better telegraphed. The solution to the puzzle, whatever it is, could be better telegraphed. And if it is throwing the cube, don't do that. That's not a... Okay, you can have us throw a cube if you really want to make a challenge for people who want to throw cubes. But then tell us, at least, that there is going to be cube throwing within the map in some part of the description. Or include some sort of guide. Because this is maddening. There is nothing redeeming here about this test chamber. There's a giant thing in the middle of a giant featureless room with two buttons. It is a room of misery, frustration, and a dark gray color, and I cannot say that I enjoyed it in the slightest. So, with that, that's the end of Perpetual Testing episode number 27. My first day of getting frustrated, and the first time that I've ever given a map a thumbs down here on the PTI. So, until next time, this has been PA. Here's hoping tomorrow's maps are made a little bit better than this one.